Don't give
I'll be your beast of burden, an ally in enemy territory. Overgrown, nasty, unkind. Throw me in and watch me swim. Mother Nature may be tough. I'm tougher. I'll take you where chaos is the cost of entry, where the fish are worth the fight. If you ask me, the bigger the question marks, the better the quest.
Discover the Dakota Lithium DL Plus 135 amp-hour battery. With dual-purpose 135 amp-hour deep cycle capacity and an impressive 1,000 cold cranking amps, this innovative battery is equipped with even heat technology, allowing charging even in temperatures below 32 Fahrenheit, and boasts power gauge Bluetooth connectivity for real-time monitoring. Dakota Lithium, engineered to power your passion from bow to stern.
Our SV spool design is made with one thing in mind: casting control. Whether it is casting lightweight baits, skipping, pitching, or casting into the wind, the Tatula SV reels virtually eliminate backlashes when set properly. Now with our groundbreaking technology and innovations, backlashes can be a thing of the past.
Out here, it takes a certain type. The type who's always the first one out. The type who knows deep down everyone else is just fishing for second. Enter the Apex Series. See more fish. Seize more victories. Settle for nothing less. With unrivaled clarity, it's the top fish finder for the most demanding type of angler. Only from Humminbird.
Every day, we live to serve you. On the farm, our tires work as hard as you do, ensuring a bountiful harvest. We empower your discovery beneath the surface. We stand tall with you to conquer timber. We maximize efficiency in an interconnected world. We help you build the foundation of tomorrow. No matter the job, we know that your success is our success. Because at Maximum Tire, we get the job done.
When dawn spreads across the serene waters of South Carolina's largest lake, Clarendon County suddenly turns into a playground. It's a destination for boaters, campers, hunters, hikers, kayakers, bikers, and golfers.
You're watching a B.A.S.S. presentation.
St. Croix Bassmaster Open at Santee Cooper Lakes, presented by 7. Is sponsored by Mercury, by Power Pole, and by Progressive Insurance. We have got a barn burner going on. Final day here, championship Saturday. The Santee Cooper Complex here in South Carolina. 10 anglers out of the original 223 pros who have taken to this lake for the championship round. And we have very, very tight. The top 3 anglers separated by less than 5 pounds. That's one swing of the rod here. This is Kyle Austin. While we were away, he was able to upgrade.
Come on, no.
Been a good 30 minutes for him because when we left you 30 minutes ago, he had just put a 7-pounder in there to make a 5-pound coal.
Oh, we'll see another 4 or 5 pounders. Give me a little some of that. Give me a little some of that. Oh, that's a big hole right there late in the day. Late in the day. You can't give up here, man. It takes one tree. That's a big hole right there.
Yes, he had a 2-pounder or so in his box. He had a couple of them,
Yep.
didn't he? But he cold
a 2
out.
and a 2.9. And so he got rid of the 2 with the 7.6, and he gets rid of the 2.9 with a
just about a 1 pound coal.
3.5 pounder, which is now his smallest to go as well.
3.8.
He's working on a pretty good bag then.
Up to 27-12 on the day.
Late in the day, hopefully.
83.11 total.
Ooh,
there we go.
Can't weigh that one in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were talking about earlier in the day, was that Laker Howe, Scott Martin, biggest bags of the day so far, and they were threatening Kyle Austin because of that, but now he has the biggest bag of the day, Tommy, so they're going to have, which Lakers got to be coming back in just a few minutes if he hasn't already started.
Yeah, Kyle Austin had 2 pounds 3 ounces on Laker Howell and 212 over Scott Martin to start the day.
Dakota Ebar. Now he's the leader of the rest of the group behind the top 3, and they are considerably far back, so he needs big things to happen, as do the rest of them, other than Austin, Howell, and Martin.
I think the lull is over with.
Yeah.
It's starting. It's definitely starting to happen now.
We're seeing some
good fish coming in.
The fish found out, and they knew they needed to bite an hour earlier because they wouldn't be able to bite at 1 o'clock.
Just now getting the word about weigh-in,
If they wanted to be famous today.
Jesus, oh my God.
Dang, he's back to back off the bed.
That's a real good one, looks like. At least a fired up one.
It's big, dude.
It happens so fast on this pond.
I don't know how well I got her. Yes, sir.
Dang, that mare's long.
That's how you freaking make up some ground right there. Thank you, Lord. I knew she was big. Oh, man. I had her good. Thank you, Lord. Y'all see what I caught her on? Dude, this is the best little bed fishing bait. Raised scound bug right there. Look at that beautiful thing. Mwah. Thank you, Lord. Oh, man. You just gotta keep working, man. You gotta keep faith and keep working. 6.5, man. Calling out a 210. Puts me at 22 pounds. Yes! We gotta keep going, guys. We gotta keep going.
Gosh, at 22 pounds and he's still how far back?
10 pounds back at least.
Gosh, that's crazy.
That's tough.
I thought that fish got a head on her to be huge, but it's just not quite thick enough.
So long.
I know.
He's gained some prize money and about 5 points, 4 points in the
Huge.
EQ. Could be in the end.
Yeah, because it's just a matter of minimal points when it gets down to getting that top 9. I mean, that's what
things.
That was the difference between me making it, not making it back in 15.
Yeah.
You know, so
You get a little bit, perspective. Kyle Austin misses it by 20 points, and we think it's because he didn't catch a limit on the final day, which contributed to it. But if he gains 5 points on a day 2 at Ozarks, he gains 5 points at a day 2 at Eufaula, Oklahoma, all of a sudden your 4 fish didn't mean as much in the negative.
And McCoy got off the donut a little bit ago and put one in the boat.
Little fella.
There's another.
We might have number 1 after
Oh, I thought he did get off.
about 4 hours of fishing this
Okay.
morning. Let's check it and see. This is gonna come in at. Thank you, Jesus. It does feel good to get a bite. That's that one right there, yeah. All right. I don't think I weighed in one that small all week, but I sure am happy to get this one right here.
Oh, time is running out. If you were just picking up with us today, of course, due to the weather, the weigh-in has been moved from 2:30 Eastern Time to 1 o'clock Eastern Time, so it's right around the corner here, and that has changed things up a little bit. I want to welcome in to the Bassmaster Studio, sponsored by Marathon, so we can show our prized analyst here, Luke Palmer. Great performer, always on this place, and just some great comments from you today, and lots of insights into how they're fishing. Now, set it up for us with three guys, Austin, Hal, and Martin here. Advantage Austin, but Hal and Martin can get it done, right?
You know, Hal and Martin can, but Hal, we've talked about, he is very limited on his time. He's down in Lake Moultrie, and he's the furthest away. He's probably got 45-minute run to get back, plus you got to factor in the wind. Unless he does something real quick, Scott might be the only guy that can run Kyle Austin down. Yeah. I mean, Kyle, he made that big call a little while ago, got up to 3.5 pounders, his smallest fish. That's big. So and there's still some time. You know, they still got another, 45 minutes to fish or so, and it only takes one little stop, one little tree to go really big.
It could be Laker Hal coming back 5 minutes early. He might leave and give himself some time and do something near the ramp.
We've seen it happen.
He's actually
in the canal, right?
It looks like he's in the diversion canal already.
He's on his way.
When you see him take off, Matt Messer and Matt Adams are looking over their shot. I gotta go as well, but I don't have the weight I need. I gotta go.
Oh, you can see how dirty Chad's stuff has got.
Yeah.
Wow.
He might be. I missed him on the map. He might be in that Tall region, which has just been blown out according to a lot of people.
Some little sand hot spots in here.
He got a little bit of sun popping through too, so
see if I can't find one more on a bed.
Make them just get up there.
One that'll bite quick.
Scott Martin currently 4 pounds, 11 ounces back, unofficially.
Kyle has just made all the right moves today. You know, he started on a starting spot that's been so good for him. And, you know, he left out of there and he said, I just need to go catch a couple 4-pounders. Well, he goes and catches a 7 and almost 4. So, you know, everything is just, it's working to his advantage right now, and having that local knowledge to have that confidence to say, hey, I can go catch me 2 or 3 more fish throughout the day off these trees to finish out my limit.
Yeah, and he had caught most of his fish early there the other 2 days. That's a hard thing to do. That's a hard call to make, isn't it?
Yeah, the final day, Luke, he didn't think that spot would hold up past day 1. He goes there, gets a good 24 pounds off the bat or 22 pounds off the bat, and it feels great. Goes back there day 2, hoping they're there, catches another good bag to start the morning. Really didn't think they'd be there this morning, and so for to set up a game plan, I'm going to go do this, catch some fish, go do this, catch some fish. It has worked to a T, but rarely does that work out like that.
It never happens. You know, I mean, it's, you know, it very rarely happens at all in this sport. And to do it over 3 days, like you said, is one thing. Mm-hmm. You know, 1 or 2 days is thing, but it's just like our tournaments being 4 days. 1 and 2 days you can kind of catch them, but day 2 or day 3 is something. But then day 4 is like the grind out. What do you have in the gas tank to finish out with? Yeah. And it's normally really tough. And 4 days on a shallow fishery is even tougher. You know, having enough fish to make it 4 days is tough.
I've been keeping track of Kyle Austin on the map, and he has started on that northwest part of Moultrie and then gone to the diversion canal. I've seen him on the other side, stay for a while, and then go west of that into Marion.
And it's a little bit of a lot more different situation. Those are calculated, local, home field moves, you know, and he knows he has to be perfect today because he knows the name Ronnie McCoy right behind him. Like when you fish a local lake, you know the guys.
Still right behind him.
Yeah, and you think I'm only up by a pound coming into the day. 29 pounds, very doable. I did 31 yesterday. You know, Ronnie could catch 30 today. So never settle, never pleased, knowing that an 8-pounder is the next flip for somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, last year when I won, I didn't have a single fish at 1:30. And from 1:30 to 3 o'clock, I caught 21 pounds. I should have had a lot more than that. But so it can happen that quick. So I mean, it's like, you know, Scott doesn't have a long ways to run, you know, which obviously Kyle's not very far either from takeoff, so he can be back in 10 minutes max. So Chad's close, but Chad's going to need a couple of good ones, a couple big ones to really roll him through.
Now, the local guy from Monk's Corner, Mark Hudson, had our 10-pound, 3-ounce Phoenix Boats Big Bass on day one in the first 30-pound bag, 36. But on day two, he slipped to 11. Is that also a local issue when you think you know where the fish are going to be, or what happens there,
Well,
maybe, Luke?
You think about that, Luke. Like, you catch a 10-pounder, your 30-pound bag's confident, but the odds of catching 10 again, that's hard.
Very slim, you know, and it, you know, obviously the big fish makes a major difference, but you take that 10, that's 2 fish, you know, essentially for your bag. So that makes a big difference, but a 10-pounder's not far off. One more cast.
Absolutely.
one more
Kyle
cast.
Austin still on top, 3.5-pound lead right now, but it is far from over. Howell and Martin trying to run him down.
Don't give
You're here for the hook set and nothing else. Because the battle between you and the bass should always be front and center. And now that the best trolling motors ever made are even better, we'll lead the charge. So you can focus on getting them to bite whenever and wherever the fight takes you. With Minn Kota, you're free to fish on any front.
Discover the Dakota Lithium DL Plus 135 amp-hour battery. With dual-purpose 135 amp-hour deep cycle capacity and an impressive 1,000 cold cranking amps, this innovative battery is equipped with even heat technology, allowing charging even in temperatures below 32 Fahrenheit, and boasts power gauge Bluetooth connectivity for real-time monitoring. Dakota Lithium, engineered to power your passion from bow to stern.
Our SV spool design is made with one thing in mind: casting control. Whether it is casting lightweight baits, skipping, pitching, or casting into the wind, the Tatula SV reels virtually eliminate backlashes when set properly. Now, with our groundbreaking technology and innovations, backlashes can be a thing of the past.
Live imaging shows you what's below in real time with edge-to-edge clarity and no gaps in coverage, all so you can turn must-watch detail into non-stop action. Only from Humminbird.
Every day, we live to serve you. On the farm, our tires work as hard as you do, ensuring a bountiful harvest. We empower your discovery beneath the surface. We stand tall with you to conquer timber. We maximize efficiency in an interconnected world. We help you build the foundation of tomorrow. No matter the job, we know that your success is our success. Because at Maximum Tire, we get the job done.
St. Croix Bassmaster Open at Santee Cooper Lakes, presented by 7 Reels. We got a big race, especially at the top of our leaderboard. The top 3 positions: Kyle Austin, Laker Howell, and Scott Martin. And these are anglers who, unlike most of the rest of our top 10, had significant upgrades day 2 over day number 1. They've been on the right trajectory throughout the whole thing here, and they've been able to hold that line, so to speak, through the course of this day, which is getting down closer to its end than you might think. If you're just checking in with us, we're going to have an early check-in today at 1 p.m.
Yeah, the National Weather Service said high winds was expected after the huge thunderstorms this morning. It's been raining throughout the night and this morning. Winds as well with that, but then the wind changed directions and speed a little bit from the southwest this afternoon, which builds a lot on the biggest lake in South Carolina, Lake Marion. And so Hank Weldon, the staff, want to keep the cameramen out there, photographers, the video camera guys in the boats, the anglers, also the tournament staff and the fans who show up all safe.
Yeah.
Instead of canceling the whole day and ending it after 2, just shorten it by an hour and a half and getting this day in.
Scott is loaded up on one here. He kind of acts excited about him.
Scott's smallest is a 3.8.
How far did you say he's back, Such? 2.5 pounds or 3?
He's 4'11" right
4'11"
now.
now.
Starting the day 212 back.
212.
So he would need to get a Kyle Austin 31 plus bag.
Yeah.
Right now he needed 8-pounder to call a 3.5 and get to that mark with 1 fish. He does have 2 3.5s though, so he can get rid of both of them in the last 20 minutes.
It's kind of funny how some fish will pull up on them in their first flip, and then others, it's an hour and a half. You're still sitting there, and they won't even look at your bait. I'll kind of rotate some colors through there, and there'll be one color they will really pay attention to compared to the other ones.
I wonder. Wow.
You know, sometimes it's white, sometimes it's black and blue, or green pumpkin, and it's kind of funny. I know at Seminole I was bed fishing a lot, and could not get them to touch a green pumpkin. You think, okay, the water's clean. He'd pitch a white one up there, and it was just like straight down on it instantly. And it was like, why? You know?
It's like sight fishing has some of the most variables ever. Not only is it color, it's location. Look at that.
Must not be real big. I
don't know if he's gonna help. There's so many over here. Dude, I can see him swimming around the sandbar. 3.9's my smallest. That's about a 3.9. I need bigger than that.
Because he's down to, he's got what, 20 minutes probably?
I need 4. No, not gonna help me. Not gonna help me.
When you're sight fishing like that or fishing for bedding bass, you have the color factor, maybe the weight, how much weight is on your bait. There's a spot within a spot. Here's the bed, but there's a spot in a spot. And then also the variable is there a male with that female? Are there fish around? You know, like how long has the fish been up there? Is it spinning? You know, there's so many variables with sight fishing.
And it's amazing watching guys who are very good sight fishermen. You know, Cook and Benton, them some of the best sight fishermen there are, and how they can roll by a fish and just look at it for 2 seconds and be like, yeah, I can probably catch that one in 10 minutes, and wheel around there and, you know, catch them that quick. So I wish which Oklahoma we can't do as much sight fishing because we don't have that clean of water all the time. Yeah. And when they do get up there to spawn, then it rains 4 inches and then it wipes it out, so it's really not.
I moved to Arkansas and soon realized after catching 1 fish off the bed visibly that I wasn't going to have that many opportunities because the week that you get to go is the week it rains and the lake floods and the fish is now in 5 feet of water.
This week,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Matt Adams was one of those guys down in Moultrie who he's either made the move back or he's making the move fully back right now.
I guess Kyle, he's right there by the takeoff, isn't he? It looks like.
I'm assuming he is.
There's been some big bags caught out of Taco Creek.
Love this lake though. It's my first time on. I love it. Sets up the way I like to fish.
Come on,
shallow.
Trip. All right, let me say that.
Throw big baits.
Come on,
love
Hank.
this lake.
Send us a dang. Oh gosh, dude. Look at that one. Look, 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 look. Bro. Bro! That's the one I need. That was him. Come on, Hank. Send a text message out and be like, we've changed our mind. We're going to stay till 3. You got to give us a chance, man.
Noticing that sun's popping out and it's starting to happen, you know, and that does kind of, it stinks, but you know they're doing it for the best of us, safety wise.
You're trying to make you have to make a call before you leave the ramp. It's not like a we'll buzz you, you know. It's a
because it, you know,
watching the forecast and the future cast, it definitely has changed. It was calling for more thunderstorms over the area, you know, late this afternoon, but it's kind of slid to the south a little bit. Not to say that they won't be something that still pop up later.
But yeah, you take the little bit of info you get, you got to make a decision that affects a whole lot of people. I mean, the one thing, you don't want to cancel the day and lose out on publicity for the group of anglers in the opens on FS1 and Bassmaster. You don't want to lose a day of that. The opportunity to go tomorrow may not exist like you do with the Elite Series, where it's a little bit more flexibility. You really got to take a lot into account. And so I think other than being a political figure, a tournament director is the least favorable job for somebody who wants
league umpire.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody wants the power, so you got to make that decision, and it's not an easy decision.
No, and it's not.
And it's not 2:30 yet, so who's to say, you know, what it's going to be like then.
Oh, yeah. And these guys are all close to the banks on either the north or south shore, up in a creek. Scott Martin's up in Potato Creek. Around the corner, he's got an island blocking the south wind. You've got other guys who are maybe up in Tawcaw, maybe around some islands covering them, or on the south shore. What the meat of the lake is experiencing may not be what you're fishing in, and so the navigation purposes. Well, there's trees the size of your boat out there.
Yes,
want to do that.
And they're very hard. They're not soft trees. I'm sure a fiberglass repair shop around Santee is probably a pretty good business to have.
Busy place, probably.
Yeah. Kyle was just like, let's go ahead and call it right now. Let's go ahead and all load up and go to the house.
He's like, I thought it was 12:30, 30 minutes ago.
No. Oh, it's the longest day in the world whenever you have a good bag and you think you might have a shot to win.
I would think with 27 pounds, he's thinking positively at this point.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Plus the lead he had to begin with.
Yeah, at this point, you're not, I didn't lose the tournament, I got beat. If you catch 27, you have the lead, and you're almost 28, and you already had the lead, you just got beat if you lose this tournament.
Yeah, everybody but Ronnie McCoy only has one fish, would have to catch more than 30 pounds. He thinks he pretty much should know, Kyle Austin should know he's done his job.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he wants another one.
Oh, yeah. You always want another one. No matter what, even when you got a big stringer, you're like, well, maybe just one more. I thought I needed one more the whole time last year. I said, I need one more.
Did you really?
Yeah, I really did.
All the way to the end?
All the way, and I was like, the only thing I kind of was good with is when I seen Brandon Cobb running around, and I knew he was catching on a whack worm because he's in the same area, and he didn't even go over there hardly. He just he went back to talk. I was like, okay, I got a pretty good backdoor shot, and then if I catch 25, I said, he's got to catch 28, 27, 28, 29, and I should have it okay, especially with the weather conditions. It was very similar to this.
Yeah.
And I remember you sweating it on camera, then come in with a 14-pound win.
Yeah, that was one of those tournaments that I wish you could go look at Bass Track one time just to see how it was.
Save yourself.
And,
add a few years to your life.
Hey, for about...
That's the male. There's a 6-pounder with him. Get in here, dude. I only got about a minute.
Hey, for about 15 minutes, you were behind Mark Menendez because he caught back-to-back 6-pounders to take the lead. But after that, we were like, as long as Luke catches one, we know that he can catch 5.
Yeah. It felt good to catch that first 7.5, I can promise you that.
Everybody feeling the clock ticking, of course. Scott Martin just, I just got a minute. Come on, let's get the mail out and get ready. And here we go. Sponsored by Minn Kota. This event is by Bass Pro Shops and by Skeeter Boat.
Don't give up.
I'll be your beast of burden, an ally in enemy territory. Overgrown, nasty, unkind. Throw me in and watch me swim. Mother Nature may be tough. I'm tougher. I'll take you where chaos is the cost of entry, where the fish are worth the fight. If you ask me, the bigger the question marks, the better the quest.
Discover the Dakota Lithium DL Plus 135 amp-hour battery. With dual-purpose 135 amp-hour deep cycle capacity and an impressive 1,000 cold cranking amps, this innovative battery is equipped with even heat technology, allowing charging even in temperatures below 32 Fahrenheit, and boasts power gauge Bluetooth connectivity for real-time monitoring. Dakota Lithium, engineered to power your passion from bow to stern.
Our SV spool design is made with one thing in mind: casting control. Whether it is casting lightweight baits, skipping, pitching, or casting into the wind, the Tatula SV reels virtually eliminate backlashes when set properly. Now with our groundbreaking technology and innovations, backlashes can be a thing of the past.
Out here, it takes a certain type. The type who's always the first one out. The type who knows deep down everyone else is just fishing for second. Enter the Apex Series. See more fish. Seize more victories. Settle for nothing less. With unrivaled clarity, it's the top fish finder for the most demanding type of angler. Only from Humminbird.
Every day, we live to serve you. On the farm, our tires work as hard as you do, ensuring a bountiful harvest. We empower your discovery beneath the surface. We stand tall with you to conquer timber. We maximize efficiency in an interconnected world. We help you build the foundation of tomorrow. No matter the job, we know that your success is our success. Because at Maxim Tire, we get the job done.
Bassmaster Live. The St. Croix Bassmaster Open at the Santee Cooper Lakes, presented by 7. And that is our unofficial leaderboard as it stands right now. Kyle Austin of here in South Carolina started the day with the lead. He is hanging on to that lead so far. He has gotten back into the region of the check-in, so looking good on that account right now. Laker Howell en route back to that area. Scott Martin doesn't have quite so far to go, but he's, if not having left for takeoff already, he's going to be doing so very, very soon. He just indicated that to us. So the sands are slipping through the hourglass here for everyone who would want to overtake Kyle Austin to win his first St. Croix Bassmaster Open. Scott's still there.
That's what we was talking about earlier. We're going to push it till the very end.
Smallest fish in Scott's live well, 3 pounds, 8 ounces.
This one will make it closer if he can catch it. He said it was he thought it was a 6+.
Thought it was a good one, yeah.
Oh. Oh. Well, he's got her to nip at it, so that's a positive for him. You know, at least she's active for sure.
Got her, dude. Got her, bro.
Oh.
It's not as big as I thought, but it's just gonna help me. It's gonna help me.
Spinning rods with all that grass and
Yeah. Not as big as I thought. That dude. Look at that. Okay. Definitely helps though.
This is where you just throw him back, keep going, because you just. But he's got a big bag. I mean,
yeah, he does.
That's what kind of stinks.
Yeah.
You know? It's just
Really good. Yeah.
Kyle's got a giant bag.
We gotta go. Like this, literally like the last fish.
25 minutes left until the first flight checks in.
4-4.
Which obviously there's only one flight today with 10.
Okay, I gotta call real quick. I need to get in here. I gotta figure out which one. One of them's gonna be bigger than more than an ounce. It's gotta be.
What is a 4-4? So
Drink all
got
I can't make myself ill.
ounces out of that one.
One thing about it, Kyle had Patrick behind him, and he said he was 3 pounds ahead of him on Bass Track. Kyle would be in major problems.
Yeah.
Patty's normally about 7 to 10 pounds off.
Yeah, exactly. Two fellows who know each other well. The low country of South Carolina. I can't remember what Kyle said. Kyle is either, okay, so this is how it goes. Kyle was in Patrick's college partner's wedding. So Tyler all fished with Patrick Walters. And I think Kyle is related to Tyler. Like they married into the family and they're like related that way. And so he's been around Patrick and Patrick's partner Tyler forever.
Yeah. Yeah, because Kyle's just a little bit younger than.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not much younger.
No, I think he's upper 20s.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not quite 30 like us old guys here on the set.
Is he 25? Okay.
Well, that's upper 20s.
He's rounding
once
up.
Once you pass 25, even you're on the upper side of the 20s. You know,
After it's all downhill from there, right?
Yeah. After 21, it really doesn't matter until Social Security or Medicare. So.
Is it just random? I mean, you have certain anglers that you get in the elites most of the time.
Yeah, usually the first day is kind of, it depends. I do a lot of that Garmin transmission now, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of get paired with whoever's got a Garmin seems like
yeah.
That's why we got a good group of camera guys to go with us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're fun to be with.
They're
Jake
such
and,
pros too. I mean, they're.
I had Brian Evie at Toledo Bend. We had a lot of fun. Just got to talk all day, and I told him, I said, get right up here beside me. Like, he was literally right over my shoulder a lot of the days, and I'd be out there scoping. So it was like, you know, he knew whenever I started slinging a jerkbait around, he probably better move to the back. But no, we've had some good
ones. Put a lot on those guys more and more. Like the fans want to see the graphs if we're going to do this type of fishing, and Bass isn't in the game of changing rules mid-season. So these are the rules we're set with for this year, and this is a good test year. So these cameramen not only are filming and transmitting it back to us, they're plugging into units when it's applicable and showing us those. So a lot goes on these guys at 5 in the morning.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They always will accept any challenge.
That's right.
That was kind of neat. I had Hunter when I won this one, and he was beside me talking, and I was showing kind of like how the fish was getting set up on a bed, and I was like, and he is literally camera right beside my face, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
See, that's where the bed is. Then I was like, there she is. Swam off and catch a 7-pounder with him right there over my shoulder. It was kind of neat to. Then had Kyle, Jesse, and them out there in front of us, and Sago, and they got the photo over it and everything
you got
behind
to
it.
yell to them.
Can I get over? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to put Sago on blast on this one. Do you remember the old Bassmaster?
You were talking about this, yes, at Toledo.
Yes, but it was Lake Murray. Come to Lake Murray. They had the Chigger video. That guy,
Marty Dasher,
yes.
In the boat,
cameraman,
riding around with that
yes.
old,
and
old brown boat.
And then Sago was the Japanese Elvis. So,
oh my God!
Oh, Ronnie McCoy.
There we go, Ronnie.
There we go. He's got him good. All right.
Show us one at the weigh-in, Ronnie.
See, it shows you can't ever quit.
No.
Come on up in here, baby.
That's a good one, too.
Come on. Oh.
Old school spinner bait.
I tell you what, I've waited for that bite since 6:40 this morning. Got him on the spinner bait, baby. That's probably a, I don't know, 5-pounder. Woo! I am so happy that I'm going to the scale with more than just one. I don't think I'll put a cull tag in this one, brother.
One to hold up and one to keep it from being lonely, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Who knows? He could stand up and make 5 casts in a row and catch 20 pounds.
Woo.
Either way, Ronnie McCoy is going to have some fans at the weigh-in.
Oh, no doubt.
Friends and family.
He
Just to
lit
make
it
a
up.
top 10 in the opens with 225,
That one,
you've had to beat a lot of
absolutely,
people.
When he hit it, my
And he
feet
just moved up
probably
a spot.
jumped up
So
off
how about
the deck.
that?
Yeah. Oh, he did.
So this, so we're in, we're on a secondary point, and there's some water willow, almost like what we were fishing this morning, except this isn't blowed out. This has got, the right kind of color. We're in like 3 feet of water, throwing it up into, 2 foot, 1.5 foot, and time I rolled it off the edge of that water willow, he hit it. She smoked it. See if there's another one living up there. I like that a lot.
Tommy, we know there's always a big crowd at Bassmaster Elite Series weigh-ins watching the end of live as they wait for these anglers to check in and do weigh-ins.
There should be more than one.
The opens are starting to have crowds. Ouachita had a big crowd, Okeechobee, and there's a whole bunch of people at John C. Land watching right now. So I know Kyle Austin's family's probably a little nervous, and everybody else is there to see these records come in.
It'll be a good bite. So it would be a blessing to get one more like that in the next 12 minutes.
Oh my gosh. This is the slowest 10 minutes of my life right here. We actually have 18 to weigh in, but I'm probably gonna ease back here in a couple minutes. Hey, next time I'm on Fox Sports, make sure you're my camera guy. That's the most big ones I've caught on camera yet.
What is the statistics of our camera guys for who they get that wins? I think Jake has probably got the best winning percentage out of all of them.
Quite. And I don't even think, I guess Jake was with Kiyoya on the final day at Toledo, but he was not with Trey. That was Brandon Fine, or Brandon Fiend. Tom Wayne is with Kyle Austin today. So we got, and then I got to figure out, I think Jake was with, and I'll say this. Some of those camera guys, based on, I don't know if it's performance or just longevity, they get first pick sometimes. So, I'm going to pick the leader if you're with it, So, I'm not ragging on our guy Jake. He's not in the field today, but
Who was with Scott and Okeechobee?
That was Jake.
That was Jake.
That was Jake.
Yeah.
I don't know who was with Jeremiah Kindy though. I can't remember who was with Jeremiah.
But Jake,
maybe I think it was one of the Penningtons, Carl or David Pennington.
Yeah, David Pennington, probably.
But can't Jake speak a little bit of Japanese? I think
He says so.
So that might be his.
Could be, yeah.
With Taku and Koyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten us quite the in that we need with it, you know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't got
Really?
that trust bond built, you know.
No,
We're hoping for it. We're hoping for it. You know?
All the camera guys we got, like we said, they're all good guys. They have a lot of fun. I like being in the boat with them.
Oh yeah,
It
good
makes
bunch.
your day, even if you're having a bad day, they can still kind of at least lighten it up a little bit, so you're not completely depressed when you come in and got your teeth kicked in. It's very good to have one in the boat.
It's a hard job too.
Yeah, we go to St. Lawrence River, I don't see how they do it.
Oh man.
And they don't have seats back there.
No.
I couldn't imagine looking through an eyepiece. I can't even handle looking down without getting seasick, much less looking through an eyepiece.
Watching the video from here.
It was rough that day, I ain't gonna lie. It was pretty bad.
I think we had a cameraman, Russell, was actually thrown up over the side of the boat while Chris Johnston was out there in the 2020 when it was super bad, and he ended up, you know, he's not even swinging in a fish. It's just coming in off a wave into the boat just because of how big they were, and we're getting the shots not knowing what the guy's doing behind the camera, and you know, so we're so grateful for it, and it is you know, I always tell the anglers, I know you're having a tough day. We're trying to just do our job too. Tommy, Z, Such, myself, Dave, we all wake up, just like the cameramen and the photographers, trying to tell the world how good you guys are at bass fishing. And so it's one of those things that the cameramen are essential to that whole process.
Oh, yeah. And they get it too. They know exactly what we're trying to do.
And I'm getting them so good at Bass Track. I'm getting them so.
Oh man!
I'll let them know, like, hey, that's a 5, and they're like, I got you, you know. So
they know
we
they can count on you for yet another job.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure that you'll come up with something else.
Well, I'll be like, you know what? I'll alter it, but just going forward, just know that's a 5-pounder. Come on.
What would make you super accurate on your Bass Track? A bigger prize than $1,000?
No, I don't normally catch enough fish to get to weigh them.
Oh, no, come
so,
on
I
now.
mean, I normally don't, like, I'm not a big numbers person. You know, I catch 6-7 fish a day, and so by then I'm like, okay, that's my biggest one. Just throw him in there. And I normally don't weigh my fish until I get to where I'm like, okay, I really need to see kind of where I'm at. And by then it's already, you know, we're too
you
late.
put in a 4, that's a 4+, that's a 5, that's a...
I don't ever want to be heavy.
Right.
From the sounds of it, Such is going to put in some in the pot to make the prize go up, because he just offered up to pay more. He just
$5 grand, will that do it? I was going to put it into the ounce.
$5 grand, you will have everybody on Bass Track.
He'll still make Zane do the car wash. He's not doing the car wash.
I'll be up there at the
He's gonna make his
scales,
boy do
like
it.
checking mine, getting me a weight to see exactly how much they are. But now that's the only reason I'm not normally that close, and I'm not as good at, I used to be able to really judge a fish back when I used to fish a lot in like ponds and stuff like that. I get within 3 or 4 ounces, but now it's just like, I don't catch enough of them, I guess. That might be it.
Oh, come on now.
The leaderboard is kind of holding steady. Scott Martin did cut his deficit down by just a little bit there. Now he's only 3 pounds, just under 4 pounds back. Unofficially, Laker Howell, 2nd place, and Kyle Austin trying to win this thing, trying to stay on top of the way he started today. 1st place, 83 pounds, 11 ounces. He is back in the area for check-in, so no worries there. Laker Howell, we assume, still en route, and Scott Martin is probably making his way, or there already as well. So we will see how it unwinds when it all wraps up in just a moment.
Don't give up.
You're here for the hook set and nothing else. Because the battle between you and the bass should always be front and center. And now that the best trolling motors ever made are even better, we'll lead the charge. so you can focus on getting them to bite whenever and wherever the fight takes you. With Minn Kota, you're free to fish on any front.
Discover the Dakota Lithium DL Plus 135 amp-hour battery. With dual-purpose 135 amp-hour deep cycle capacity and an impressive 1,000 cold cranking amps, this innovative battery is equipped with even heat technology, allowing charging even in temperatures below 32 Fahrenheit, and boasts power gauge Bluetooth connectivity for real-time monitoring. Dakota Lithium, engineered to power your passion from bow to stern.
Our SV spool design is made with one thing in mind: casting control. Whether it is casting lightweight baits, skipping, pitching, or casting into the wind, the Tatula SV reels virtually eliminate backlashes when set properly. Now with our groundbreaking technology and innovations, backlashes can be a thing of the past.
Live imaging shows you what's below in real time with edge-to-edge clarity and no gaps in coverage, all so you can turn must-watch detail into non-stop action. Only from Humminbird.
Every day, we live to serve you. On the farm, our tires work as hard as you do, ensuring a bountiful harvest. We empower your discovery beneath the surface. We stand tall with you to conquer timber. We maximize efficiency in an interconnected world. We help you build the foundation of tomorrow. No matter the job, we know that your success is our success. Because at Maximum Tire, we get the job done.
St. Croix Bassmaster Open at Santee Lakes, presented by 7, has been sponsored by Ranger Boats, by Rapala, and by Yamaha. I'll say a special thanks also to folks at Clarendon County, South Carolina. Man, they do a great job. They have a tremendous resource here. It's just Santee Cooper Complex is out of sight, almost unbelievable sometimes. Let's take a look at what we have seen today, starting with second place to start the day, Ronnie McCoy.
Yeah, Tommy, he started game plan just a pound back from the lead. South Carolina native to Santee. You had two local guys at the top. He was in Moultrie, dedicating his time to that offshore eelgrass. Really long, big, vast area where the depth changes. It takes a couple hundred yards for it to change just a foot. So Ronnie said, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to land at, but I'm hoping I find them along the way. Never really did. The wind was probably piping into his area. He comes back up to Marion and doesn't get much going in the cypress trees, but spinnerbait pays off, 6-pounder late in the day, just to show something for a great week here at Santee.
Got something to bring to the weigh-in, moved up a position. Hey, can't have a great day, have a good finish. That was the way it went today for Ronnie McCoy. Hats off to him for making the top 10. For sure. Matt Adams did not have the day he wanted, but he sure had the tournament he wanted. Wound up in the top 10 again.
And he's in it to win it when it comes to the Bassmaster EQ points race. All 9, and this is his second top 10 of the year. Had a top 10 at Okeechobee. We got to see him on Fox Sports 1 there. Same thing here. Had a 5.5-pounder to start. He was also down in Moultrie for a little while, and so one of those deals where for most in Moultrie today, it just didn't pay off. There was one angler who really did, and we'll see him in just a couple minutes.
Kentucky's Matt Messer got a big one for us early on today.
You know, I said Moultrie's the hero or zero place, you know, and it finally, I don't know if the fish kind of quit moving up as much or if the wind had a major factor to them, but as you can tell, it definitely blew in on him here, and I think that probably hurt their fishing areas.
Had been using a lipless crankbait, a little bit of a chatterbait I think as well, but that lipless over the eelgrass and the hydrilla, there was a little bit of a depression on this big portion of it, and it's been key for him, but he knew today with the wind, he might have to switch up. That 710 was a big payoff this morning, but not quite the full limit that he needed, just like Parker Guy.
So the George's Parker guy said, hey, it's just a matter of time before one of those big females picks up my lure and I bring it in. And so he did. Later on in the day, probably a little later than he would like to.
One of those guys that if you've kept up with the Strike King Bassmaster College Series, Emmanuel College, you'll know the name Parker Guy, and it'll be a name you need to keep an eye on. We go through, he signed up for a division of the Opens, getting his feet wet, and it's a good way with the top 10.
Talk about Chad Grigsby. Spent some time on the Bassmaster Elite Series back in 2015, 2016, and looking to make his way back. And didn't get the start he wanted today, but made some adjustments.
Yeah, I think that he was one actually who kind of got thrown for a loop. You know those preconceived notions, Tommy, where you know your fish are going to bite, or you know you're protected from the weather and you're not worried about a bad day of weather. He thought he was going to be all right. I'm not far from the ramp. I'm in an area I should be fine. Actually, the wind was kind of hitting his area pretty strong. Had to make an adjustment, but boy, did he. Using that jackhammer all day long, the chatterbait, that's been key for him. And this 6.5, 6'10", was a huge bite for him to keep him in the top 5, and this is going to be a great points event for him as we hit a third of the way through the season.
Yeah, certainly a event he would
I think
love to have.
He was probably fishing shallower out of most all of our guys, so the wind affected him more than anybody.
And we got to keep an eye on him because we'll have a couple in his neck of the woods later this year.
Even before the season started, we knew we'd be keeping our eyes on this guy, Dakota Ebert. Such an impressive record coming up here. An angler from Brooklyn, Texas.
What a special talent. The last few years made a couple $100,000, had some financial flexibility and said, you know what? I could, work where I am and fish where I am and not be necessarily as happy or joyful. I want to make the Bassmaster Classic. I want to have a shot at the Bassmaster Elite Series. So he signs up for the Opens and gets in. Last one to really get in for all 9. He signed up way late and has been showing out second in the points race.
Scott Martin started this Division I action in the Opens with a record-setting performance down at his home waters, Lake Okeechobee. I guess he said, why don't I just win all of them in Division I? That's obviously been his mission this week.
This is what gets Scott Martin maybe out of his perceived funk on the Bassmaster Elite Series, because we expected far greater results there. He has not gotten a big blue trophy yet, but he's gotten an Opens trophy this year, his first B.A.S.S victory. For Scott Martin, this is another great momentum. And like we said, Tommy, 6 days of fishing, 3 at Okeechobee, 3 at Santee Cooper, probably the almost 25 to 30 pounds on average for those 6 days.
Dang, that's awesome.
God just has a way of getting around him. When he's in a good tournament, I mean, he is around him all day long.
We eradicate them.
Been utilizing his perspective mode for his live scope, catching some bedding fish that you can't see. It's gotten a little dirtier water. The water clarity isn't great in some areas. A lot of pressured fish as well, so maybe he's targeting some beds that are a little deeper, a little off the bank than others. He's been able to catch a couple big ones doing that today. Same way he won at Okeechobee.
Our first time to be in the boat with Laker Howell, and I tell you what, the personification of youth and enthusiasm. That is what this young man is. Plus he can fish, plus he has a great pedigree in the sport.
He was fired up all day. You could tell he enjoyed all his day. He caught them really well too. That makes a big difference when you're catching them like that. But he's pumped up, wanting to get back to the Classic, and he wants Dad to be riding in his boat.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's
Dad
the
with the
thing.
flag. Dad holding the flag, not him.
He's already ridden in the boat around with the Classic trophy, but it wasn't his Classic trophy. And so for this 21, he also said, I love my dad, but it'd be super cool to carve out my spot in the sport like we've seen other sons do in their father's footsteps. Be able to say, look at me, I'm doing my thing, and I'm doing it well.
So would it be bad luck if he already touched the Classic trophy?
Only if you believe in luck.
Okay.
Only if you believe in luck. I believe in skill. I believe in skill. He's the one guy out of the 4 or 5 that tried Moultrie today and had all their eggs in that basket that it actually paid off for him. The hatchery region of Moultrie really, really protected from that southeast wind today.
Yeah, it would kind of been neat if we didn't have a shortened day and seen how it would have turned out. Like we said, they made the right call. Hank and them had to make the call to do what's best for the anglers and our camera guys and just everybody in general. So, that's how it normally goes. You make a call, and then the weather doesn't turn out as bad as it
and you
said
don't
it
make
was.
the call, and then you know,
and then we have
et
issues.
cetera.
So,
Yeah.
so it's better to be safe than sorry. You know, that's what we
doubt
always
about
say.
it.
So,
Always, you
hats
never-
off to them for anybody that has to make that type of decision. And they caught them pretty dang good for a shortened day.
Laker Howell currently in second place as we head toward weigh-in time, and Kyle Austin started the day with the lead here. Kyle Austin was just a couple of spots out of qualifying for the EQs last year in 2023.
Some of that. Look at that spinnerbait.
Man, 12th place in the Opens last year, barely missing the Elite Series, feeling a little discouraged at the end of the year, not having a limit on your final day of competition, and that kind of prohibits you from making your dreams come true. Tough, but if he was on the Elite Series, he may not have the motivation here at Santee that he does this year. Coming into it, it's hard to win as a local, but we've seen two others use their knowledge to win this year on the Opens on their home lake. Kyle Austin. It's not done yet. He hasn't won. It's not official.
No.
But boy, what a performance he has put on for 3 days of fishing.
How about that one, number 2?
I think we had any century belts if this is
man.
Elite Series right there right now.
The reason Santee Cooper is the 3rd most century clubs of all lakes that we've been to in Bassmaster history, right behind Fork and Falcon.
And Falcon, right?
Not too bad a company.
Well, wasn't Falcon pretty much everybody in the top 100 got
Yeah, exactly.
that one year that
I
first
think
year
we
won?
need to do this, Tommy. We need to get like a mini belt. If you break 80 pounds in an Open, we're just going to say it's the Open's equivalent. 75 would be on pace. But 80, yeah, you're well
Mini
on
belt,
pace.
or just like a wristband or a tie tack or something
a
like that.
necklace. Maybe we'll get you a necklace.
He'll make the record book, 5th with 31.8 on day 2. That's 5th all time in the Opens, and is 80 pounds.
Century Club anklet.
83 today.
Century Club anklet.
Is second.
Kyle Austin. I tell you what, Kyle Austin throughout the day, he didn't like the conditions, but he was positive, had a lot of confidence all day long. He had no idea. He knew he had some big competition chasing him down. So right now, let's catch up with Kyle Austin as he comes into the check-in back at the John Land facility.
Man, I don't think you could have rode it any better. I think today was the perfect as it can get for the conditions we were dealt with. If I don't win, then somebody really, really deserves it. I got a pretty good bag. I think we got enough to get the job done. I'm not sure, but it was definitely a day I won't forget if win or not. So I'm just glad it's on Santee Cooper, not nowhere else. So we had a blast. Hopefully we got it done. We'll see.
You know, he is shaking in his shoes right now. I mean,
it's nervous making time.
Oh, the anxiety, it's something.
In 33 events, he's cashed $56,000. He could almost get that with this win today.
Cool to see a young guy have some adversity, some stumbling block moments, stays perseverant, able to maybe win at home in front of his friends and family. Nowhere else you'd rather win your first event. Nowhere
100%.
else.
Kyle Austin looking for all the world like he's got this one in the bag. Again, it's not official until the weigh-in is done, and the weigh-in, of course, is coming up next right here. Laker Howell, Scott Martin, his 2 closest pursuers. Congrats to all of our 10 out there today. You had to work very, very hard each and every one of these Open events to get there. The weigh-in starts, I guess you could say right now, and in that Yeti hot seat, feeling the heat, breathing hard, we could tell just a few seconds ago.
Laboring.
Is Kyle Austin. So congratulations to him. A tentative congratulations, and before it gets made official. I want to thank so much our very special analyst, Luke Palmer, here today. Luke, great job. So many insights we got from you. You've been there, you've done it, you've gotten it done here, and now you get to see someone else get it done. And we can't thank you enough, and good luck at the Classic.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you guys having me here, and see you all at the Classic.
You bet. We will see you there. That's where we'll see you all as well. The Classic coming up in 13 days. It starts on the Grand Lake of the Cherokees, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Get ready now for the weigh-in.